it been like these first few days?
It's been awesome, new facility. It's been a lot of fun getting back on the field with the guys, and we're flying around and we're making plays and having fun. So.
How would you grade how you performed in the spring?
I thought I had a solid spring. Obviously it's never, perfect. It can't be, but I thought I had a really good spring, and personally I grew, and I think anybody on the team, if they can look back on their spring and say I grew this spring, it'd be a successful spring, and that's what I felt like, and I feel like we did that as a team. We grew as a team, and it was successful for all of us.
Were there any mental blocks coming back from the injury?
I think it took me a little while, I guess, to kind of get in the groove again. Not only did I break my collarbone, but I also took a whole month off of throwing. I didn't have any strength really in my arm for that whole month, and so I guess mentally I wasn't too scared to play, but I guess physically I probably needed some time as well to continue to get into shape and ready to play. So.
When you talk about your guys' offense in the big picture, how do you feel about the run-pass balance you guys had last year? Is it about where you want it to be, or what do you think the overall kind of philosophy you guys are going for is?
I think we had a great balance last year. It's always a wonderful thing to run the ball and to throw the ball as effectively as we did last year. And honestly, at the end of the day, whatever the game requires of us to win, I think that's what we have to do. And we won football games last year, and that's what I was happy about. So.
What are the big things you've been working on individually during the off season since the end of spring?
There's some mechanic things, individual, stuff I like to clean up when off season and individual work. There's been other stuff that our QB room has been trying to be specific about, new QB training techniques that are really becoming popular just to be more efficient with your throwing and your mechanics that we've been focusing on. And then, just me, been a lot of spiritual growth for me, and it's been a great time, taking some time and getting realigned and getting excited for the season. So.
Do you feel like you're on even footing with Frank and have an equal opportunity to earn the number one job?
I don't really get focused and wrapped up in that. I think it's really just comes down to me doing everything that I can every single day and controlling what I can and winning the day each day and letting God take care of the rest. And I think that's the way Frank feels too. And we're trying to, at the end of the day, do whatever we can in whatever position that we're in to help UTSA win football games. And we're just out there competing, have a great time, and the respect that we have for each other.
How do you compare the two of you as quarterbacks and what you bring to the offense?
I think we're very different, in the way that we play, and it's hard to say. I think that we're both very good football players and just different, and we always have been. But it's at the same time we have a lot of respect for one another, and we bring a lot of really cool things to the offense.
I know you guys said you have a good relationship, but are you pretty competitive when it comes to fighting for a spot in the depth chart, or what's the mentality like in that regard?
Of course, we're both competitors, but you gotta. We have a lot of respect for each other, and we stay strong, and we don't really let what's on the field and competing, be a roadblock to our relationship. At the end of the day, I think we have a great job of just having perspective on what matters, and we're both trying to just compete and be the best that we can personally, and that should not have no effect on our relationship, and it's been great. Yeah.
He's been named to a couple of these preseason watch lists and things like that. There's got to be a part of you that's like, well, wait a second, I'm still fighting for this job, and I might be that guy. How do you respond when you see some of that stuff?
I think I'm happy for Frank. He's worked really hard to achieve the things that he's achieved, and I said, I don't really get wrapped up in that, and selfishly, you can't let yourself go there. It's a guy that's worked really hard, and I've worked really hard, and things just, I guess, personally didn't work out, the way exactly how I thought it would when I transferred here. But that doesn't change my decision. It was the best decision I ever made in my life, and I'm enjoying every single day here, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm competing, and I'm becoming a better football player every single day, and really that's all I want to focus on. So.
People will hear you say that's the best decision in your life, but why is that?
Well, to be honest, at New Mexico State, I was going through a lot, mentally and with the game of football, and coming here was just great for me. Coach Traylor and the staff that's here, they practice what they preach and they facilitate growing men. And that's exactly what I needed. And spiritually, you know, that's what I needed. And mentally, that's what I needed. And, you know, it's just been wonderful for me. And the game of football, personally, has just been, you know, kind of revived for me. And, you know, my relationship with Christ is at an all-time high. And really, that's just so important to me. And I think it was something that I was missing. And a change of environment really helped spur that. And, you know, I've enjoyed it. It really has been the best decision I've ever made. And you can ask my family, and you can ask my fiance, you can ask anybody. It's, you know, it's just the truth. And my fiance is in New Mexico right now. You know, it was a tough decision, but it was the best decision that I could have made. So.
You mentioned that it's been a little bit different than your expectations. What, you know, how so? Like, what did you expect coming in here, and how did it not match up precisely with that?
Well, of course, you know, I wanted to be the starter and the guy, and, you know, I worked hard to do that, and it just, I didn't win the QB battle, and, you know, sometimes that happens, and you gotta, you know, you gotta be able to dust off your shoulders and get up and continue to compete every single day, because, you know, I believe in this team, and I enjoy being here, so.
Part of being the quarterback is obviously that leadership component, and I think, you know, for somebody like Frank who's been in the program a few extra years compared to you, he's got different kind of relationships and connections with the guys. How do you try to build that with your teammates and to get in that position to be a leader?
Right, I think it's just important to just be yourself. I think, you know, the number one thing that comes off to people is how genuine you are. And, you know, I'm not trying to be anybody that I'm not. And how I've led is just being very genuine and being very open and loving people. And that's kind of my approach. You know, I don't try to go out of my way to be something I'm not. You know, I'm just going to take the time that I have with my teammates and make the most of it and you know, facilitate just really good relationships with them. So. And I feel like I've grown with that. You know, it was tough. You know, I came in the middle of COVID in the summer, and it was, I really, you know, I hardly knew the guys I was playing with, and that was tough. And I wasn't used to that, right? Because I came from a program that I was starting at. You know, everybody knew who I was, and we had great relationships. And then coming here, you know, it was a hard thing to do. But, you know, having this off season and restrictions kind of loosening up, it's been nice.
Coach Traylor noted earlier the work that you've put in physically. You know, getting chiseled was his word too, lighter, and working more on running the running side of the quarterback position as opposed to just the passing side. How are you taking to those adjustments? How does it feel?
First of all, thank you, Coach. Chiseled. Still got things to work on, you know, the love handles and all that, you know. But, you know, I just, you know, Coach Philo does a tremendous job of just facilitating an energy of just so much in an atmosphere of just having fun and competing every single day in there, and it's contagious, and it's, you know, it's a great time in that weight room. And, you know, personally, I have things I want to work on. You know, I want to be able to be more dynamic with my legs, and so I take that stuff seriously, and whatever I can do on my own with stretching or maybe speed mechanics or anything like that, you know, I'm trying to try to do that. And, you know, Coach Philo does a great job of getting us ready and improving on what we need to improve on.